So today I'm going to talk about the AP Art exam. There's two kinds you can take. You can either take the 2D design portfolio, and that one allows you to do digital art and stuff, and then there's just the drawing where it's strictly traditional artwork. Both of them have to be centered around a theme that you did, or at least a portion of it. So there's three portions to the AP test. There's your quality, which is 5 pieces that you have to send in physically to the college board. There's 12 concentration, which is something that you come up with, like your theme that you build stuff around. And then you have your 12 breath pieces, which show off technical skill and how well you understand how to make good artwork while incorporating your technical skills. I took the drawing one, so I didn't get to submit any digital art, and I got a 5 on it, which is the highest you can get. So that excuses me from having to take like a basic art class in college. And I'm going to art school, so it's good for me. So I'm going to get started by showing the 5 that I did submit. It's good to order them with your second best one being first, and then sort of building up to your best one at the end. So I would say, so I used a breath piece for my first one. This shows off technical skill. Yeah, this one was really fun to do. I did it in marker, and it was used by taking like negative space objects, which for beginner artists that don't know what it is, or just if you've never come across the term, like negative space is the space between my fingers, like the rectangle in there. So it's just the space where nothing is. Yeah. And then the second one is this one I did in ink. It's kind of anime-esque, so I'm not a big fan of it. I kind of just went with it. This was made earlier on in... Okay, so my camera cut out, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. So I was just finishing up showing the second piece that I submitted. As you can see, there's no color in it. And that's kind of good because it builds up, because they're like, okay, so you can definitely work with color and you can work without it. And then you want to show them like how far you can go with a certain object. So this is the third piece that I put in there. Just a girl in a wedding dress. She's very pretty. I love working on the hair and the complicated headdress. Yeah. And like, just in case you think that something's going to get messed up with the ordering of it or how it's supposed to be positioned, you put a special sticker in one of the corners so they know which way is up and like what's the bottom and everything. The fourth piece I put in shows more color, so it's adding on to what I can already do, which is a good way to show off your strengths and to let them know that like, hey, I can do a little bit of both in the same piece, because they really like to see variation. So yeah, it's hard to see on the camera, but the like gold patterns right here and like even up here are sparkly, but it's not like sparkly enough to see it. Yeah, and then my fifth one is just like a fully colored thing, well, like minus the bodysuit. Yeah, so if you like look through it, you'll see it's color, black and white, a little bit of color, and then just like complete color. So it's kind of supposed to throw them for a roller coaster, but also have a gradual incline, if that makes sense. Yeah, so those were the 5 that you send off. The other ones, okay. So when you submit it, you submit your 5 in this big portfolio. This is just the back of it because the front has some information that you can't put on the internet. So I'm not trying to get my score taken away or get in trouble. But this is now just my portfolio where I store stuff. I'll show some of the other work that I submitted because I do think it's good to know what qualifies as art that you can put in there. So yeah, this one was in there. This one I had a lot of fun doing. I finished it really quick, which was surprising. And also it's kind of ruined because I had a mini fridge in my room and it kind of leaked, so a lot of the map words messed up on them and some of the artwork was like bled through. Yeah. By the way, you have no size limit when you submit stuff online, but you have a size limit of like 22 by 24 if you're shipping it off to the College Board. So just be aware if you're actually thinking about doing it. Don't work too big because I know some people are gifted and can like work really big really quickly. This was another one I did. This one I like put a lot of shimmer at the top. So yeah, it kind of shows up. Yeah. So again, my poor babies were murdered, but that's okay. I mess up a lot, so you can kind of incorporate it into your designs. Like, just stick another sheet of paper on it. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about these. These are just what worked out for me. And I was coached pretty well throughout the year, even though my teacher was a bit strict, it still helped me. Yeah, it's just really stylized stuff. So I'd say definitely use stylized things in your concentration, but for your breath, you'll want to have more of a variation. So you're not going to want to do something that's like super stylized. Abstract pieces can count as breath because you can definitely display like a good flow and movement and what's the word for it? Composition. That's, yeah. Just if it, because like stuff like this displays more of anatomy, even though it's exaggerated. Yeah. You can definitely like express simpler things like still lifes, like those can easily become really good abstract pieces. This one has nudity, so skip ahead like 30 seconds because I know some people are like, wow, that's a female breast. So yeah, this one was put into my concentration. This one was done later on, so I put it higher on my list. Because again, with ordering, you have to have it in a certain way from where it's, you want like your fit, like out of 12, you're probably going to want like your fifth best first, and you're going to want like your second and first, you're definitely going to want your very best one at the end because you don't want to just like leave whoever's looking at your art hanging. Okay. Yeah, this was another one that was damaged. This one was also put in the concentration folder. It has a lot of glitter on it, so I like using shimmer pens. Okay, yeah, I have one more physical one that was put, I can't remember if I actually put, I think this was concentration also. I'll definitely go through some of the breath pieces that I used because it's good to know what constitutes as breath, and also it's not spelled like breathing. There's like a random D in there. Yeah, this was one of them that I put in for breath. It's a self-portrait and it's a lighter version of me because I'm more pink now. Thanks, acne. Yeah, this was done with Prismacolor. I'm not a big fan of working big when it comes to colored pencils. But yeah, here it is. This one I actually did a year before I did the AP studio art class. I did some touch-ups here and there, but I feel like I definitely could have done better on the skin because it sort of just like fades around certain areas. Yeah. So now we're going to take a look at the sketchbook that I used in my AP Studio class. And I'm pretty sure if you're in AP Studio Art, which is an art level 5 class, that you're going to have summer work for it where it's like you have to do 8 breath pieces during the summer, which is like one a week if you're on a normal public school schedule. Yeah. I hope my editing fixes this. So this is one of the pieces that I used in my breath portfolio. Um, I didn't think that it qualified, but apparently it showed technicality. Um, yeah, I don't know a lot to say about this, but it was just a cup because I drink fruit punch like every day, and it's probably not great because it's full of sugar. Um, but yeah, so these are like little crack pills at the bottom because teens love pills. That's a bad joke. I think I actually kicked this one out because I didn't like how the yellow and the gold clashed. If this was like a more mustard yellow, I think I would have kept it. But it's just this girl with 4 hands and she has vitiligo because I feel like there's not enough representation. Yeah. Also it bled through, so I think that's another reason I took it out of the portfolio. These two I also think I use for the breath folder. I don't know because once you submit it, you can't really go back in. Or if you can, it just says like your teacher is reviewing it or you don't have access. So this is just me in a fancy dress. Look at my double chin, being all confident. This is my friend. I messed up because the arm was like not like supposed to be there. It was just like that, but then I did that and I messed it up. Alright, this one I did put in there because it showed good technicality. Um, can't remember what one I put it in for, but it's in there. It shows good understanding of anatomy, even though it's stylized. It has good something. I don't know. I'm instinctual, not. I can't like name stuff, which probably doesn't make me the best person to make this video, but whatever, we're going with it. So this one was put in as breath also because it shows and displays a good use of fading out, which is a technique where you finish it but it still looks good. So a way you can do that is like how I did it, where I didn't watercolor the whole thing and I only applied it to places where it would benefit the piece, like with the lips and the eyes and some sections of the hair. Because that's because like the eyes really bring in a person, and so do the lips when they're bold like this. If I were to just do the hair and make it really bold, it would kind of lose its composition because it wouldn't, because there's not a lot of emotion attached to hair unless it's like a sign of femininity. But even then, it's just not the best idea. And then this is a little note that my teacher leaves because we have to submit stuff like this all year long. Alright, so this one I submitted for breath because it shows technical skill. Again, with the stylization, it's just a woman, a little bit of titty popping out, but that's okay, it's just a human body. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about this piece, it's just sort of here. So this portrait of my friend was also put in as breath because it has good composition, it's not too simple, there's minimal stylization, and it displays that I can do more than just my own stylized stuff.